Hi there, my name is Svenja and I'm currently the lead lower elementary guide here at Sundrops. I want to tell you a little bit more about our program and know that next year the program will look a little bit different. Ms. Shannon Marshall and I are going to team up to have a 6 to 12 classroom, so that means first grade through sixth grade will be in a combined classroom, and we are taking over the auditorium as a classroom space. The auditorium is a space in our school that is really underutilized, and we are just envisioning the most incredible classroom in there. We're also taking over the nido or baby rooms that are behind the auditorium so that we have quiet pull-out spaces where we can work with small groups, and we are thrilled and excited to be working together. Ms. Shannon and I will be teaching all the ages, and we're dividing our curriculum, or we're dividing our teaching load, I should say, by curriculum. So I will be handling all the language, so that's reading, writing, grammar, and as well as all the sciences. And Ms. Shannon will be teaching history and math and geometry and geography. So we're super excited to be able to teach to our passions and also to be able to connect with first through sixth grade students. We're both trained for first through sixth grade, and we love all the ages. They each come with their own set of rewards, and so we're super thrilled to be able to do that next year. So far, the past 6 years, I have been the lower elementary teacher here at Sundrops, and before that, Miss Shannon was the lower elementary teacher. She is now the upper elementary teacher. So between the two of us, we both have 12 years of experience in Montessori education. I taught at East Cooper Montessori before I taught here. So I can talk a little bit about public Montessori education and the difference there. So if you are looking into a lottery system or a Montessori public magnet school, and you're on a wait list, please know that they do teach the standards, so it's not the pure Montessori curriculum. They do use Montessori materials, but the Montessori method is really developmentally based, and there's a certain way that you teach things in a certain order, and that is kind of shaken up a little bit by the standards. They're not developmentally based, and so to me it was really difficult to do that. That you are expected to have higher than average scores on your state testing and your other standardized testing, and so there's a lot of pressure on teachers to kind of cram in the information rather than letting it unfold naturally. To me, the number one thing, and also for Ms. Shannon, the number one thing is to create a child that is a joyful learner. So someone who wants to learn something, who comes to school just burning for knowledge, who wants to be a lifelong learner. That is the number one goal. Because if you are a lifelong learner, then you're never going to stop, and you're always going to push yourself and be motivated to do more, versus us cramming information down the children's throats and learn this, learn that, memorize this, memorize that. That's not joyful learning. So yes, you can have Montessori in a public school, but it's not going to be the same beautiful method as what you will see in a private Montessori. So please be aware of that. And we do have actually a very large list of people who want to attend Sundrops next year, which is super exciting. We're getting phone calls every day still from people who are asking about our program, and so we do ask that if you are on the list or the wait list for a charter school, that you don't accept your spot if you're offered one unless you're really sure that you are going to be able to commit to us. It's really disappointing when we do a lot of legwork beforehand to get to know your child, to get them set up, because we start that now. We start that as soon as we send out acceptance letters. And to have you then tell us a few days before the end of the school year, or a few days before the school year starts, that your child will not be attending because they got a spot in a charter school. It's just really disappointing to hear that. I understand that financial aid and paying tuition are a burden on many families, and please reach out if that's the case for you and ask to talk to Shannon Smith, because we're always willing to work with families who are truly committed to the Montessori philosophy and who really want their children to grow up in this way. We just put a committee together to start fundraising so that we have more scholarship funds available, because we really, really believe that every child deserves to have a Montessori education. And so, again, know that we commit ourselves to you and your child 100%, and so we just expect the same of you. Again, it's really disappointing when your child is on the list and someone else could have had that spot, because sometimes it's too late to fill that spot, or that family has already made other plans because they didn't get a spot that you took. Be very aware of that, please, and I'm just asking for your consideration in that matter. Let's see, I want to tell you a little bit more about public Montessori versus private Montessori. Besides the testing, what a public Montessori does really well is addressing children with special needs. So if your child has severe special needs, such as severe dyslexia, or if your child is neurodivergent and needs an aid, that's something that we absolutely can accommodate here at Sundrops. But please know that your insurance will be paying for it, or you'll be paying out of pocket. At a public school, some of those things are covered. And so be aware of that, please, and let me know if I can help you navigate that if your child has some learning differences, or is neurodivergent and just needs something a little bit different for them. I'm happy to talk to you about that. It's actually one of my passions, is to have children with learning differences or other needs, special needs, in the classroom, because I like finding ways to accommodate that child so that they can be the best possible learner. So I'm always willing to sit down with you and discuss how we can make this classroom the perfect classroom for your child. Just know that if you are having outside aides coming in to help, the Sundrops does not cover that. Let's see what else is on my list. Our classroom, of course, is going to next year be a 6-year classroom, because we have 6 grades, but it'll still be a 3-year cycle. So that means that 1st through 3rd grade will be on their cycle, and 4th through 6th grade will be on their cycle of learning. So our curriculum cycles through every 3 years. And kind of the children's behavior and expectations also change from year to year on a 3-year cycle. So what I mean by that is a first year coming in has been the king of the classroom, or the queen of the classroom in the CASA, because they've been in charge, they've exactly known where everything is, they're the helpers, they're the leaders, and they come in and they know nothing. And it's very humbling to come in from that position and to be the newbie. And so they kind of start over, and that first year is really just spent on routines and understanding how to do the work. How am I a learner in this space? They become much more social at this age, and so they're learning to negotiate friendships. They probably have like a different best friend every day, or siren. You may hear about, I have no friends one day and everyone's my friend the next day, and that's completely normal because they're learning. I'll wait for that siren to go past. There we go. They're learning to negotiate that. They're learning how to be a friend and how to be a community member. And in their second year, they kind of have those skills under their belt, and now they come back and now they have big academic growth in their second year. When they come back in their third year, they continue growing academically, but now they're also gaining real leadership skills and real self-control and impulse control skills. So then they go to 4th grade, and it kind of all starts over again because the workload is different and the expectations are different and the social scene is different. And so they have to start over with those routines and learning how to do it. 5th grade is a great year of academic growth. 6th grade is leadership. So that kind of cycles through. And even though we will have one big classroom, we don't expect those things to change. Because we have that kind of 3-year cycle, we do ask that you make at least a 3-year commitment to us. If you have your child and you think, well, I want them to stay through 1st or 2nd grade and kind of get some of that under their belt, and then we're going to just put them in the neighborhood school, they're really not going to get the full benefits of the Montessori approach. You really want them to have that 3-year growth and journey with us. Of course, we want you to stay all the way through 9th grade, and if there's any advice I can give you, it is that the longer your child stays in a pure Montessori school and has the advantage of the Montessori method, and that's how they're learning and that's how they're learning to be with others, the better adjusted and the better off they are going to be in the real world later on. I can promise you that. No child needs to go to a traditional school to learn how to be in a traditional school. That's the transition. Once they've mastered things here, is going to be seamless and easy. It's actually easier for them to transition out than for other children to transition in at a later age. So the longer they're with us, the easier it will be for them to be a very, very successful student in the outside world. Let's see. We do expect you to follow the philosophy at home to an extent, and what I mean by that is involving your child in daily chores and in daily life. We don't assign homework, and in fact that's a good question to ask any Montessori school that you're touring is, do you assign homework? Because a traditional Montessori will not assign homework. We expect the child to be involved in chores, in family life, maybe learning an instrument or playing a sport or just outside playing with siblings or friends. At the end of the day, we do our learning here at school, and we do not expect your child to learn at home. This is their job here, and at home they just get to be. So we do ask that you commit to that. We ask that you are very cognizant of the negative effects of screen time on your child, and that when they're younger, they have limited amounts of screen time. We don't have any screens in our classroom for the younger children, or I should say access, except for one iPad that we use for communication with you. And the older children are taught appropriate computer skills, and they do use tablets and computers for some of their research, but they learn first how to use a book and how to learn something from a dictionary or an encyclopedia or a fact-based book. So that's really important to us, and we ask that you respect that at home as well. We ask that you send in healthy foods for snack and for lunch, and we ask that you approach life in a nonviolent way. There's a lot of sirens today, y'all. I had to make this video outside. Because we have Spanish happening in our classroom right now. So I came out thinking it would be nice and quiet, but that's what happens when you live next to the police and the fire department, I guess. Anyways, we're really excited that you're interested in our program, and I want to get to know you, and I want to talk to you more about your concerns or about your excitement, if that's what you want to share with me. I'd love to show you our classroom if you want to come by after dismissal one day. Of course, the space will change, but if you want to come and see what does an elementary classroom look like, please let me know. I'm more than happy to meet with you. I can talk about Montessori all day. I literally will talk your ear off. I can recommend some good books if you're interested in learning more about Montessori and her philosophy. And if you just want to chat with me, I'm totally available. I really love forging new connections. Please know that when you're with me, you become a member of my school family, and you will have my cell phone number. I am very available to you, not just for school-based questions, but developmental child stuff, anything like that. So I am your resource. Please, please, please reach out with any questions or comments that you have. I look forward to hearing back from you. And please know that I will also be sending out a recommendation form that you should give to your child's teacher to fill out. And that is just something that gives me a baseline of where your child is, so that I can start thinking about how to place them in my classroom in terms of where they are and what they've learned in the past, and behaviors and such things. So it's just a helpful tool for me to kind of get to know your child. I think that's all I have to tell you right now, but thank you for listening, and I tried to keep it as short as possible, so I hope that you are still tuned in. All right, well, let me know. You can email me at Svenja, Svenja, at sundropsmontessori.com. And I'll get back to you, and I can't wait to meet you and your child. Have a great day.